Imagine this. You're perched on a worn-out stool in a dim corner of a downtown cafe. The scent of burnt espresso hanging in the air. Your laptop glows blue. The screen whispers, "Connected to free coffee Wi-Fi." A generous gift from the establishment. A digital lifeline you've come to trust. Behind that friendly SSID, however, a shadow is already moving. Somewhere in the ceiling tiles, a rogue access point mimics the cafe's Wi-Fi network name, broadcasting the same comforting beacon. It's an evil twin, a silent predator waiting for the first packet you send. You click, you type, you log into your bank, you check your email, you even whisper your password into the void, believing the lock icon on the address bar is a shield. In reality, a man in the middle is hunched over a laptop, siphoning every byte, replaying your credentials, and stitching together a profile of you that no one asked for. By the time you finish your latte and step back onto the street, the surveillance state, whether it's a corporate data broker, a government agency, or a hacker, already has a fresh slice of your life, freshly baked and served on a silver platter. Welcome to the warning of the week. Public Wi-Fi is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and today we're going to talk about how to spot the wolf, lock the gate, and keep the shepherds from counting your sheep. Today we're diving into rogue hotspots, man-in-the-middle attacks, and how you can surf public Wi-Fi without leaving a breadcrumb trail for the surveillance state or a rogue hacker. Buckle up. The signal's about to get encrypted. I'm Sudo, and this is Impractical Privacy. Free, fast, and conveniently located right next to the espresso machine. That's the siren song of public Wi-Fi. It's the digital equivalent of a candy store with a bold "Take one, free" sign plastered across the windows. Except instead of sugary sweets, the shop is handing out a handful of your most intimate data. Your browsing habits, your login credentials, even the rhythm of your heartbeat if you've got a fitness tracker syncing in the background. You walk in, plug in, and the connection feels as effortless as a latte pour. But beneath that buttery smoothness lies a hidden pantry of predators. Rogue access points masquerading as the legitimate network. Man-in-the-middle scripts ready to splice your packets, and DNS tricks that reroute you to look-alike phishing sites faster than you can say double espresso. In other words, that free Wi-Fi isn't just a convenience. It's a digital candy wrapper that can be ripped open at any moment, spilling your personal information onto a tray that the surveillance state and big tech farms are eager to gobble up. So, before you let the next free coffee Wi-Fi lull you into a false sense of security, let's peel back the glossy veneer and see exactly what dangers lurk behind the tempting no-cost connection. We'll uncover how rogue hotspots impersonate the real thing, how a man in the middle can eavesdrop on your every keystroke, and, most importantly, what practical steps you can take right now to turn that candy store into a fortified vault. Stay with me, because the rest of the episode, I'll give you tools to enjoy your caffeine without handing over the recipe for your digital life. All right, let's get tactical. To fight the wolf, you have to know how it dresses up as a sheep. In the world of Wi-Fi, we call this the evil twin. Imagine you're at your favorite downtown cafe. You see two networks, Cafe Guest and Cafe Guest Free. One is legitimate, managed by the barista who barely remembers the password. The other is a rogue access point, maybe a Wi-Fi pineapple hidden in the attacker's backpack, broadcasting a stronger signal. Your phone, being the helpful little radio it is, sees both and chooses the strongest one. Congratulations, you've just invited a digital vampire into your house. Then there's the open network trap. No password, no terms and conditions, just a direct line to the internet. It feels like a gift, but in surveillance state, free is just a synonym for you are the product. And we can't forget the captive portal hijack. You know that pop-up page where you have to enter your email or log in with Facebook to get the Wi-Fi? A rogue hotspot can serve a fake version of that page to harvest your credentials before you've even logged in. Once you're connected to a rogue hotspot, the attacker becomes the man in the middle. Think of it like a nosy neighbor peeking over the fence while you hand a love letter to the mailman. The letter arrives, but the neighbor already knows every word. They use 3 primary tools to strip your privacy. Packet sniffing. They sit between you and the router, reading every unencrypted byte you send. SSL stripping. This is the nasty one. The attacker downgrades your connection. You think you're on an encrypted HTTPS site, but they force your browser to use HTTP. That little lock icon on your address bar, it vanishes, and suddenly your password is being shouted in plain text into the void. And DNS spoofing. This is a digital shell game. When you type bank.com or wherever you're headed, the rogue hotspot tells your browser that bank.com is actually the attacker's server. You see a perfect replica of your bank's login page. You type your passphrase, and the man in the middle just caught the keys to your kingdom. I know. Sudo, you're being paranoid. But the data-hungry monsters are real. Let's look at the receipts. The Pineapple Hotel attack of 2019. Attackers set up a rogue access point in a boutique hotel lobby. They didn't want your emails. They wanted your corporate credit card info. Guests checked in, hopped onto hotel guest Wi-Fi, and checked out with empty bank accounts. The Public Library ransomware of 2022. A compromised router at a library wasn't just sniffing traffic. It was injecting malware. Patrons downloading free ebooks were actually downloading ransomware that locked their laptops before they even opened the book. The airport free Wi-Fi scam of 2023. Travel is stressful, and attackers love a distracted target. A fake airport Wi-Fi access point was used to capture login credentials for airline loyalty programs. Why? Because those points can be sold for real cash on the dark web. The takeaway here is even places that promise secure browsing can be a Trojan horse if you don't verify the gatekeeper. Okay, real quick. Pull out your devices because class is in session. Bonus points if you're on public Wi-Fi right now. I want you to do a quick health check. Identify the network. Go into your Wi-Fi settings. On Android or on Windows, you can often see the BSSID or MAC address of the router. If you see 2 networks with the same name but different MAC addresses, one of them is an imposter. Check the certificate. Open a site you trust. Tap that lock icon in the address bar. Look at the certificate chain. If it says self-signed or issued by unknown, disconnect. That's the digital equivalent of a do not enter sign. The HTTPS everywhere test. Head over to howsmyssl.com. It'll give your connection a grade. If you see anything less than probably okay, somebody might be trying to strip your SSL. The fix here is a VPN. What happens when you toggle your VPN? Suddenly, your traffic is wrapped in a WireGuard tunnel. Even if the guy in the corner is sniffing all the packets, all he sees is a wall of encrypted noise. The lesson here is that you can't control the network, but you can control the tunnel that you have to travel through. Here's your Wi-Fi warrior playbook. Use a trusted VPN. WireGuard or OpenVPN are the golden standards here. Stay away from free VPNs. They are usually just another data broker in a different trench coat. HTTPS only mode. Go into your browser settings. Firefox and Brave are great for this. And toggle HTTPS only. This prevents attackers from performing that SSL stripping trick. Turn off Auto Connect. This is the most important set it and forget it move. Stop your phone from silently hopping onto every free Wi-Fi it passes. Force it to ask permission before joining a new network. Personal hotspot. If you have the data, use it. Cellular data is the gold standard for privacy because you aren't sharing the air with a dozen strangers. DNS over HTTPS. Use a provider like Cloudflare to encrypt your DNS queries. This stops the DNS spoofing we talked about earlier. What if you're listening to this and realizing you used that sketchy cafe Wi-Fi for your banking yesterday? Don't panic, but maybe do move fast. Revoke sessions. Go into your Google, Microsoft, or bank settings and log out of all other sessions. Kick the intruder out. Change passwords. Use your password manager to generate a fresh, unique passphrase. Check the dashboard. Look for unknown devices in your account activity logs. Monitor your credit. If you think your social security number or card number was exposed, keep an eye on your credit report. A little vigilance now can save a lot of paperwork later. But before we wrap this up, I need everyone to stop typing and just listen for a second. We spent the last 15 minutes or so talking about how the invisible airwaves around your favorite coffee shop are weaponized against you. It's heavy stuff, and if you're anything like me when I started down this rabbit hole, you might be feeling the urge to throw your smartphone into the nearest river and move into a lead-lined yurt into the woods. Don't do that. The Wi-Fi in yurts is terrible anyway. Here's the most important lesson that I can ever give you. Privacy is a journey. It's not a destination. And it's absolutely not worth sacrificing your mental health for. There's a very thin line between being security conscious and being paranoid. If you're having a panic attack because you forgot to turn on your VPN once to check the weather, you've crossed that line. The surveillance economy thrives on making you feel helpless, but it also thrives on making you exhausted. If you are so stressed out about OPSEC that you can't enjoy your life, the bad guys have already won a different kind of battle. Accept it, because you will make mistakes. You will accidentally connect to a sketchy network someday. You might even get hacked. It happens. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress. It's about closing more doors today than you left open yesterday. So take a breath. Hopefully you know more now than you did an hour ago. That makes you dangerous to the data brokers and hackers. But don't let it make you dangerous to yourself. Stay vigilant, but stay sane. Okay, with that said, here's your mission for the next 48 hours. Pick one public hotspot you normally use. Either bring your own hotspot or enable a VPN, and verify the connection with howsmyssl.com. Post your results on X with hashtag Wi-Fi Warrior and tag the show. I'll shout out the results next week if anyone responds. The surveillance state may flood the streets with free Wi-Fi, but you hold the umbrella that decides whether the rain reaches you. Stay skeptical, stay safe, and keep those packets private. I'm Sudo, and this was Impractical Privacy. If you found this episode useful, smash that subscribe button and consider supporting on Patreon. Your contribution keeps the trackers confused and the servers humming. One last thing before you go. Why did the Wi-Fi router go to therapy? Because it had too many connection issues and felt like everyone was just using it for its data. I'll see you next week.